Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lupus Fitness 333 Philosophical Talk number 29. I'll get to 28 later. Just there was a problem with the recording, so I have to redo it again. So today we're going to be talking about adopting the warrior mentality, and it's not just going to apply to people with our conditions or life-altering, life-changing conditions. Okay, this is a general thing. Again, it's an opinion of mine that I like to share with you guys. So the first thing is, this path is not for everybody. It's for those who want to completely take accountability for themselves and for their actions and focus mainly on, how do I say, being well-rounded and working on their weaknesses, as well as, how do I say, being in a, how do I say this, in a mentality to always be ready to confront your challenges. Okay? So some people today call it that it's on site, meaning that as soon as it happens, or on the drop of a hat, you're ready to deal with whatever it is, whatever comes up to you, whatever the problem is. You're there, you're gonna do your best to act, and the thinking will happen beforehand. So the training that you'll be doing in your private time, in your alone time, is the talk that you'll be having with yourself, is the practice. So when a real life situation presents itself, you already have an idea, or how do I say, you already have the practice within your body, within your mind, within your soul to handle. Okay? Now I know all of that sounds kind of simple, almost a little bit, how do I say, dumb? But yes, so this requires you to be training yourself at least 30 to 20 minutes a day. It's not a lot, but that's enough time for you to handle whatever is going on with you. Now, the training that is required for this type of mentality is more of an athletic training, okay? Something that's aerobic and anabolic. But you're not focusing just on anabolic, you're mostly focusing on aerobic. Why? Because for you to have the warrior mentality, it requires you to be having stamina, all right? Think of it again like being in battle. The battles might last you at tops 1 minute, and you're having to go through crowds. So you're going to be dealing damage as you go and trying to handle whatever presents to you as efficiently and as effectively as possible to move on to the next. So kind of think of it as dominoes. You want to just hit one domino and move on to the next one. All right, it's just the difference is that they're not connected to each other. So if one falls, that doesn't mean that the other one will automatically fall. If anything, you're the force that's making them all fall down. Okay. Another thing is to put yourself in awkward positions. So the warrior mentality will require you to put yourself in, let's say, how do I say it? Yes, I already said an awkward position, so let me give you an example. In life, sometimes, most of the time, you're not going to be in a proper position to, let's say, lift something, to talk to somebody, to relax. So putting yourself in the practice of, how do I say, in putting your body in a, how do I I say this, in a weak position and strengthening yourself from there. So a perfect person who does this, or a person who comes to mind, is a dancer. Dancers are constantly moving their bodies, constantly doing unorthodox movements, all right? And their bodies usually are stronger because they're doing activities that are not, how do I say, systemic to the body. Not systemic, what's a normal for the human body to move. And this is a great thing for people with conditions and people without conditions. Why? Because you generate strength, flexibility, and stamina in areas that you'd never think you'd have to work out on, until in the real world you're there and you're in a position where you're like, oh my God, I don't understand. You know, you've been training or you've been doing some kind of exercise, but it no longer translates to the situation that you're in. So again, dancers and warriors have around the same, how do we say, body-mind connection. Their body is strong because they're not doing, most of the time their routine is not the same, with the exception of, let's say, strikes and stuff like that. But we're not equating it only to battle. We're equating it to the mentality of keeping your body, how do I say, prepared for anything. Okay. Again, the warrior mentality is just not a physical aspect. It also requires you to work out your mind. So a great way to incorporate this is to do puzzles, to do, how do I say, timing exercises. So again, how do I explain this? Chess, problem-solving games, sometimes video games, but that's iffy. Not everybody does that. Puzzles, things that require you to think on the fly. So you're not just reacting, but you're making a decision that requires you to at least think 2 or 3 moves ahead. Okay? That's one aspect of the warrior, not just physical. Your mental has to be also as sharp as your body. Okay? The next thing, relaxation. Dancers and warriors always have this over everybody else. Intentionally relaxing. When you're a fighter, you're taught to relax the body. Let's say for boxers, they're taught how to relax within the rounds. They have to relax their body. They cannot be tensed up all the time. It taxes your strength, it taxes your stamina. That's not good. For dancers, again, dancing requires a lot of strength, requires a lot of mind and body connection. So for them to relax the body so that the mind can remember the routine is just as essential as the actual routine. You understand? So intentional relaxation is part of the process. You have to learn how to intentionally relax. Okay? You have to learn how to do it within the actual activity that you're doing and when you're outside in life. Okay? This is crucial for it because it will teach you how tense you are throughout life, and sometimes that could lead to problems down the road that you don't recognize until you practice it, until you practice relaxing your body, and it can make a world of a difference. Okay? Sorry for the rough video today. Again, I was a little bit disappointed with the previous philosophical talk, with the recording not going so well, so I'm just gonna post this one. And I was only halfway done with actually doing the summary for this one, so that's why I didn't have the examples. But yes, anyways, please like and subscribe. Send this video to whoever you believe will benefit from this. Again, this is Lupus Fitness 333. My name is Angel. Thank you for watching. Bye.